All right, we are recording. Welcome everyone to the CE Bro conversation we will be having today. Just to tee up the call a little bit, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to cover a couple topics. The three main points we're going to talk about today is connecting as men, supporting a power partner that you are in business with, and also overcoming possibly a non-supportive partner or someone who doesn't see the vision that's in it for them yet, and you're battling in this business alone. So we're going to talk about all those subjects, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And also, don't procrastinate. Get your questions in if you have anything that want covered on the call. But to kick us off here, I'm going to introduce my main man, Brad here, Mr. Brad. He's a photographer. He's a husband. He's in this with a absolute power couple, Danielle. They've been married for a while, and they have a great relationship, but Brad is just one of those guys who's always there for you, man. He leads with his heart. He would walk through fire to make sure you get what you want out of life, and really honored to be doing this call with him. So, Brad, the floor is yours, my man.
Dude, I love this. I love that, especially coming from my main man, Elliot, here. But, you know, I also get the privilege and the honor to introduce one of our other hosts as well, Aaron Freeman. And this man, if I have to say any word to describe him, I got to say authentic. This dude is 100% heart. If he is in a conversation, he's like present in the moment. Him and his amazing wife, Jocelyn, have been building this business. They are incredibly successful. They're not only 3-star Gold Circle, they're part of the Start 1000. They're also in the process of writing their very first book, so tune into that. And on top of that, you know, they're speaking, but the cool thing for them, and this is their heart, is to really, you know, live out loud and just really create an authentic life. So with that, Aaron, I'm actually going to pass it right over to you, man.
Man, just the bro love already. Brad, I really appreciate that. This is Aaron, as Brad mentioned, and just to let you guys know who's going to be talking on this call. Also, I know Elliot had kicked us off, but who Elliot is, he's been in what he does is like medical device sales. We're doing that for a while. But him and his wife Lindsay are like the reason that our Stronger Together movement even got started. And you know, their rank is a 4-star Crystal executive. And 5 years ago, Elliot really was the one that was really looking for some health benefits but saw this vision. And I just want to say, Elliot is he's the most consistent, the most loving, one of the funnest guys I've ever been around. And he's one of those guys that if you're having a down day, you just see him, your day just automatically gets better. And for those that have the privilege of just really seeing him every day and working with him, that's what it's like around him all the time. And so he's 100% real all the time, and that's what he's like constantly. So just want to let you guys know who will be on this call. And I get to start out talking about connecting. Now, I love this topic because it's so interesting, and I don't want to just go into the how. I want to talk about why. So why do we connect specifically for guys that are in a business that are really it's leading the way through women, which is amazing. It's amazing to be a part of an industry where women are free to fly, and each one of us on this call are married, and we get to support our women, and their wings are full out, and they get to soar. And so the question kind of comes up a lot, well, how do you connect with guys? And whether or not this was meant to be, my morning got started in such a way, I was like, it was so perfect for this call. I had been watching on Facebook, a couple of friends on our team, they go on this hike. And so they get to the top of one of the mountains here, and like the views are spectacular. And so I was like, I want in on this. So they said, come on, it starts at 5. We get going at 5:30. Had me questioning a little bit at that point, but I showed up. And I realized it was dark still then, so I needed to bring a headlamp. And so as we got started, it's dark. I can't really see. I'm like a little bit nervous about, am I going to step on rocks? I'm not really sure where I'm going. But then I realized I was with friends, and they had done this before. So it really gave me peace and ease that I didn't really need to know how we were going to get to the top of this mountain. So we get going, and we get halfway up, and it's starting to get lighter. We start to see other people on the mountain, and we're just saying hi to them, and such a great energy, and we can turn our headlamp off. And then at the end, you know, then we finally make it to the top, and like the sunrise had like just got started, and we all made it to the top, and we were just taking in the city. And I realized it was such a perfect analogy for connecting with guys, because so often, I mean, why do we connect? It's because we individually don't have to know the how. We may start in the dark about our vision for our life. And the thing is, when you can get a community of guys, bring guys together, you just feel like you can take it all on. And you don't have to know the how by yourself. So you may be in the dark, but you get together with people who may have done this, they may not have, and you just get going. And along the way, you might trip up on some rocks. You might run into some people that are on their way down or taking a break. Such a perfect analogy in life. Like, people, don't continue to their dream, but eventually having a group of guys, we made it to the top. You make it to the mountaintop of life, or what you strive for, and there's just a beautiful sunset, and you can revel in really the accomplishment. And so I was like, that is such a perfect way to start this call, because that's how life is. And all too often, there's like this ego around guys, like not to be open or not to want to ask for help. But that's where the magic is. And so why do we connect with guys? It's because together we really are stronger. And, we don't have to know the how. We can get together with guys, and we can just together hit a vision. And we might not know what's at the top of the mountain, but it's going to be a beautiful sunrise. So, Elliot, Brad, just throwing that back out there. What do you guys think of just a community and having guys together support one another as far as bro business?
Aaron, dude, I loved what you just said. And I think I love the analogy of being in the dark and talking to guys, because I know guys, I mean, especially even if you're a woman connecting with a guy, like, guys can sometimes wear a hard outer shell, right? And it doesn't mean to say that they're not completely open and listening to what you're saying. I know sometimes Lindsay has to check in with me like, yo, Elliot, you live over there? Like, what's going on in that brain? You look like you're about to eat me. But really, like, that's just my beard just looking fierce. Like, that's not how, like, internally I'm taking it. So Aaron, I absolutely love that analogy of, like, just be authentic and push through that first layer of outer guy shell, because you never know exactly. I mean, they could be processing in a different way, and what you're saying and connecting with them is exactly what they want and need. So I really resonated with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got to say that, for me, I love that story, but the fact is it's so much funner to do stuff like this with other people that you resonate with, the other people that challenge you, that will push you to the top of that hill. And that's honestly how I feel like we've had a lot of our success, is because I surround myself with amazing dudes who are willing to, like, call me out if I'm being lazy, call me out for not hitting my goals, and are willing to love me and push me because they know that I'm capable of it and they know my potential. So in the same way as, Aaron's talking about that hike, that really does resonate with me, because I'm, without other people, what's the point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, that's so true. Appreciate you guys chiming in there. So I wanted to move that then to, okay, so we kind of got the why, right? Like, what is so powerful about connecting with guys, especially being in a business, especially one like this? Then the question comes up, like, okay, so here we have an industry that is predominantly being led by women. And so mostly the conversation is either around, I get the question like, okay, well, is this for weight loss? Is this mostly for, women wanting to get their health goals? Because, a lot of people say, like, I'm a beast. I'm looking for just those gains, those man gains in the gym. And so, that is the great thing about the company that we've partnered with. And it is that these are nutrition solutions that fit any goal. So it is not about just women's health. It's not just about weight loss. And just to share my story briefly, I'm a CrossFit athlete, and for almost 12 years, I was going to the gym 5 times a week, and I wanted pro athlete abs, and it just wasn't happening, right? So it's really through my knowledge of nutrition and aligning with and partnering with a company like this that I'm actually fueling my body with the stuff it is supposed to get. So when approaching guys about this industry, one led by women, again, one where it may look like more women health goals, it's like, no, this is just as much of a solution for getting ripped abs. I even actually got injured for a couple months in which I had to take a break, and I didn't lose any muscle. I actually gained in lean muscle that's how powerful the nutrition is. And when I was a couple years ago, when I was just working out, I didn't know that. I thought if I just went to the gym and played sports, that's what I needed to do. So it's mostly about letting people know and just providing knowledge that there are solutions out there. Nutrition is just so powerful. And I went from 9% body fat down to 6% body fat. I'm the fastest and strongest I've ever been, and I have those abs. And so it really is. There's not just like there are men solutions. Like this is for guys that are wanting to be beasts in the gym, get the man gains. And I think that's just something that a question that comes up. So that was one of the things I wanted to address. And then lastly, before I kick it over there to Elliot, as far as a business, here's something that makes a difference for people in their health. Guys, like I said, getting stronger, getting ripped, and meeting those type of goals. But being a part of this really is simple. You can very simply add this into current structure. So if you have what you eat already, but this is adding a convenience factor, adding in the nutrients that you need to get, and then the toxicity part, allowing your body to absorb. But as far as taking it on and sharing this gift and more of a business side, it's very low commitment. If you think about what it takes to start other businesses, all you're doing here is eating food. So you're not developing or building or developing a company with HR and payroll or paying for rent. This is food you're already eating to become more of a beast. And it's very low commitment. Once you have that, you have an opportunity to share and create a business with an unlimited income stream. So I think that's just so exciting. And there's just so much opportunity for guy type goals. And like all of us, we're here to support our wives. And here's a secondary income stream that someone could use to really allow our wives to thrive and fly in whatever it is they see for themselves in life. So that's what I wanted to share about connecting. And so I would like to now kick that back over to Elliot and lead us.
Right on. My main man, Aaron, on the ones and twos, dude. Love it. Love connecting and sharing stories. That's just such a powerful way. And feel free to share Aaron's story. And I know he's always available for three-way calls if you have someone who wants to talk about getting down to 6% body fat, which pretty much every guy in the world does, right? So right now, this is a topic that I just love. I mean, if you look at my name, it says Lindsay Schwartz, right? Like, I have the most phenomenal wife in the world, and I love supporting her. And it's something that we take very seriously. And I just want to talk to you guys. And if for guys, I want to talk to you from a place of supporting a powerful woman. And from girls, I want to talk to you from a place of, if you're not being supported, maybe there's a few things in here that you could take on to help your guy feel comfortable supporting you full out. So number one is vision. You have to get real. I mean, me and Lindsay I had to really get behind, like, Lindsay, what's your vision? Okay, you want to stay home with the kids. I love that. I'm on board for that. Oh, you want to retire me? Double on board for that. Let's get going. I'm 100% behind you, right? And it's one thing to be a part of that vision, and it's another thing to really believe that it's possible. And my guess is, thinking long-term about what this business is, if you're not being supported, if they're not connecting to the vision, it's probably a belief thing. Plug them in the community. Get plugged into the community, guys. It's happening all over. People are retiring. People are supporting their families. People are helping others, contributing to other people's lives and supporting their family, right? So it's one of the most amazing vehicles in the world, and that's why we're doing this. And that's why I'm 100% in and supporting Lindsay. One thing that's worked really well for us is, for me, because she's busy and people want her time, right? And she's on calls at night. And I can 100% see why that's threatening to a family. Full out, can be very threatening to a guy, to the family. Why is she on calls? Why isn't she with me watching the game? Why aren't we watching movies? Why aren't we drinking wine? Why aren't we going on walks? She's busy. She's a boss. And it takes to set up realistic expectations from a guy, from what you need. Guys, yes, you are going to have to communicate your feelings and think about what you need to feel supported and to feel loved and wanted. And, that is a manly thing to do. That's not soft. That's what real men do. They communicate and they share with their partner what it takes to have a good relationship. So if you're not on board with that, that's not bro talk. That's some other inside chat that you got to overcome, because real men want to be supported and want to feel loved. So we set up times, we set up date nights, we set up connecting time. That's non-negotiable. That's like, hey, business is done. You can't do calls. Like, we're gonna connect here, and this is what I need from you to feel connected. And I do feel connected because I have expressed that, and we make sure that's a priority. So take a look in your own lives. You know, do you know what you need to feel connected? Do you know what it takes, what you're asking your partner? Because don't get mad at them if you're not clear what you want from them. That's not fair. All right, that's step number one. You got to get clear with what makes you happy and what you need. Maybe it's not time, you know, maybe it's, you know, going out, and maybe it's a gift. Whatever it is that you need, whatever your love language is, get present to that and communicate that with your partner. And if you don't know what your partner's is, strong, badass women on this call, ask them and find out and make sure that's a priority, because that's what boss women do. They take proaction. They're proactive in realizing proaction. I'm making up words here. Let's go.
That's so awesome.
So once you get that established, once you're confident that you have what in place to feel supported and support each other, it's tough for a woman to be out on a limb all the time, right? They're pouring themselves, they're pouring greatness into others. That's what the beautiful thing of this business is. They are absolutely giving 100% of themselves, and so are we, into others, into making sure they're great. And my challenge to you, and what I will recommend, is to focus on your partner's strengths and bring that out of them. I mean, really get present to what it is that makes them so great. Because when they falter, everyone, look, I don't care how tough you are, when you're falling down to your knees because you don't believe in yourself anymore, you got to be that rock for your partner and breathe back strength and belief into what they're doing. I mean, that's so huge, guys. And hey, trust me, what you focus on expands. If you're focusing on them nagging you and not wanting you to go to games and not thinking you're enough, that's going to expand in your life. But if you're focused on being great, if you're focused on gratitude and what they're doing for you and how they're supporting you, that's going to expand. And if you acknowledge them for that, they're going to want to do that even more. Secret trick right here. Always acknowledge them when they do something cool for you, because they just want to do it more. Mind control, bro control. Let's go. And then handling upsets. This is really my last point. And, you know, if Brad or Aaron, you want to chime in on this, but when your partner and you are not in 100% integrity, right? When things are a little rocky, if you hit a little speed bump in the old love life, handling that powerfully really can bring you together and really just seal the deal on support. So I think Aaron wants to chime in and give an example of how he can handle upsets that occur with them.
Oh, I was giving you a note on the time too, actually. I actually just I was just really getting for myself, and if I could just share, man, you're so right about really supporting them. And one of the things I noticed with Jocelyn is, you know, I didn't realize I'm not always realizing like what it took for her to have the boldness and the courage to leave, you know, something comfortable. Like she was a registered nurse, and she left that to take on her dream, right? And I forget about that. It's not like our powerful partners are sitting at home doing nothing. It's like they're out there creating with people, they're out there supporting people, leading, and that takes a lot, and it's so bold. And I even forget that for myself. You know, currently I go to my office for my full-time job, and just forget about all the creation and everything that Jocelyn has going on. And you know, much like for your guys' wives and all the powerful women out there, just remembering really what it takes, the boldness and the courage that they took to step out and design this kind of life. That's one of the things I just really got clear of. Thanks, Elliot.
Man, thanks for that. Brad, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, one of the things you said was really speaking their language. And you got to understand how to really speak to your spouse in a way that really resonates with their heart, with who they are and how they're going to receive it. Because maybe you may be supporting them in one way, but that's the way that you would feel best supported, where they might feel supported in a different way. So, Elliot said, just ask, find out like what their love language is. And honestly, if you're a dude on this call and you got this like a total BA wife who's rocking it, the best thing you can do is come home, spend 30 minutes of uninterrupted time to say, babe, whatever you need, I got you. I'm here to support you. And, you know, we're running this. I mean, if you come at her and you just give her that quality time, she'll be unstoppable.
I love that. Fantastic point, man. So my time is about running up here, but you know, really take on what it looks like for you to be supported and what it looks like to support your partner, and get on the same page together, guys. Because when you're aligned, this business, and you're in a partnership, it is so fun, and it will bring you so close in ways that you literally will never imagine. And that's one of the best parts about this journey, is what it's done for me and Lindsay, and I love just watching these other, you know, two power couples on the call and what it's done for their relationship. So thank you so much for listening. I'm going to pass it off to my main man on the ones and twos over there. He's good.
Awesome, man. Dude, it's so cool to be surrounded with these bros, because honestly, this is one of the reasons why we grow, because we grow together. We bro together. But, you know, something that I'm very passionate about is really, you know, we are in an industry that is typically, it's like 80% women, you know, and it's largely women based. And a lot of that means that these women who are just going for it, you know, they don't necessarily have their spouse's full support. So, you know, something that we get to share with you today is really maybe identifying what they're really afraid of, what their skepticism is, and then really ways to get through that. So first and foremost, never make it them versus you. Never make it, you know, they're against me. You have to realize typically they're not going to give you their full support because they don't necessarily know what this is. And one of the best things you can do is really just help educate them. Just give them information, slowly just drip on them, essentially. And you want to make sure that they're getting the best information so that when they're looking at this, they can make an educated decision. And the fact is, typically, men don't want their wives to get into network marketing out of a fear-based mentality of what happens if they fear, or what happens if they fail. They're fearful that maybe you might get hurt, or maybe you, you know, aren't going to have the success you want and feel devastated. And so sometimes it's better in their heads to be like, well, you shouldn't do this because, you know, most likely you're going to fail based on all of these people that I've heard of in other companies. Well, this is one of the things that we really have to identify is, you know, what is that fear and how to get past it. So what I'm going to challenge you ladies to do is, first of all, make a commitment to your spouse, okay? And you're going to ask for 2 years of full commitment to pursuing something like this, to give it all out action, because the fact is, you know, businesses like this, they don't grow overnight. It does take time. It takes commitment. So you have to make an agreement with your spouse that they're going to support you for X amount of time, and then just give you the opportunity to prove to them what you believe this truly is. The other thing that we got to talk about is really objections. You know, if you don't know what their objections are, how are you ever going to get past them? So if you have a spouse that is, you know, saying like, hey, you shouldn't do this, this is like a bad choice, don't spend our money, you got to ask questions. And that's not always easy to do when it is a spouse, which is so very strange. But sometimes we have to really get down to the root fear of what's holding them back from that support. Typically, it's financial. You know, most people, unfortunately, they live paycheck to paycheck. So all they hear is money going out. So it's your job to educate them, to let them know that this is not strictly money going out. This is food money that's already being spent towards something that's going to actually help you feel better and look better and live a bigger, better life. Now, this is where the responsibility comes to you. If you are not currently producing results in your physique, then you don't necessarily have the belief in your own success. So the first thing you got to do is commit to your own results. You have to absolutely become a product of the product, because I can guarantee you that if you in 30 days suddenly start looking better, you're losing that weight, you're trimming up, you're starting to look super hot, like getting swimsuit ready for the summer, your money, a little bit of money is coming in, it's getting paid for, you're becoming happier, You're nagging less because suddenly now you're like way, way excited about life. And I'm not saying that you negatively nag, but if he's not supportive, maybe you're like, you need to support me. But if you become a better person, I guarantee you, especially if you're suddenly like looking great in that husband-wife time, they're going to be suddenly like, you're doing great, honey. You look fantastic. So we have to take ownership, right? If you are not becoming a product of the product, then you're not authentically going to ever be able to create a business. You're never going to share this with anybody. You're going to be selling it to people. And that is one of the biggest fears that men have, is that they're going to have to sell to your friends and family. But if you believe in the product, if you believe because you are a product of the product, it's so authentic. And then your husband will be like, wow, these products really do work because my wife is smoking. They probably already think that anyway, but creating those big differences. The other thing that I'm going to really talk about is really your action is going to determine their belief. What are you doing currently in the business that is building their belief in your own success? Have you truly committed to making this a successful business where you are starting to bring income in? If you're making money and you're like, honey, here's a card, go spend some money, go have a guy's night, and you hand him your Isogenics card, he's going to be like, how much is on here? And you can be like, $2,000. Whatever it is. I mean, if you're bringing money in, suddenly it's like, my wife is doing really some awesome things. She looks good. So really, you have to commit to these things. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about agreements. But before I do, I just want to open it up to, Elliot and Aaron, see if they have any feedback they want to give. Okay, I guess they're good.
Hey, Brad, I got something for you here.
Okay, cool.
I love it when you say commit to the products and committing to getting your own results. I think that's so huge. And one of the hardest things is carrying the belief for two people, right? When someone's almost rooting for you to fail if they're not your corner supporting you. So if you're in that situation, guys, reach out, and that's when you really got to plug into the community and find people who will support you, because not having a spouse that's going to support you, especially getting up and running, especially when your belief is at your lowest, could be one of the most challenging things to overcome. So don't go about it on your own. We have a great community that will support you, and everyone on this call, everyone in the community of Stronger Together, everyone in the community that you're in is here to help and support you through that tough time, okay? So don't go about it on your own. You're 100% supported, and the more you can be consistent and the more you believe in it, the quicker you're going to get them on board, okay? So that's the only thing I have to add, Brad.
Perfect. Yeah, the other things that I'm going to talk about real fast is agreements. Oh, actually, Aaron's got some feedback. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, and after you said that, it just really reminded me about communication and like you're mentioning, just not holding anything back. So, if there's a partner that's not necessarily supportive right now, it's mostly probably because they just don't understand the impact for you. So, from a woman's perspective, I think about Jocelyn. If I wasn't necessarily behind what she was up to, and she sat me down and just said, hey, I just want to share with you why this is really important to me. I don't know that I would need anything more than that. It would probably, it was just something, other idea I had, or I didn't know what her purpose or her intention was. And if she sat me down and said, hey, this is something I really want to take on, I really wanted to get a certain health goal, or I could see how this could provide for the family, it's just really important for me to try this. I mean, I think it's just in communication, like you said, Brad.
I love that. I love that because you're stating your intent, which if your husband doesn't know your intent, he's going to think you're just flying by the seat of your pants. So really come in with purpose. And the agreements that we're going to talk about is really how to create agreements that are going to lead to your success. So the first agreement is be willing to be bad enough for long enough to be good enough. Success does not come overnight. And honestly, it's going to take you probably failing forward a few times. I cannot tell you how bad I was when I first started this. My wife as well. Now, my wife is amazing now, but it took us a long time to get to where we are because, well, we didn't really know what we were doing. So just be willing to really commit to that process of becoming the best you that you can. The other one is really commit to your own results. And we kind of address this. If you are not a product of the product, your authenticity is really going to sabotage you. So the best thing you can do is really stand firm in what these products can do by actually being a product of that product. So if that takes 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever it takes, go out full commitment. Commit to this. Do those double cleanse days if you need to really get that amazing, sexy, beautiful body where you were feeling more confident than you ever felt before. And your husband is going to see that and he's going to be like, yeah, that's my wife. The other thing I'm going to say is really partner with people who challenge you. Find those ladies, find those people that are going to really just hold you accountable to your own goals. Because if you don't have that, then suddenly it becomes more of a challenge to do this on your own. Nobody likes to do this on their own. The other thing, and this is one of the biggest things, is commit to the 4 core events. If you are not at Celebration, if you're not at NYKO, if you're not at the University in Action or Isogenics University, you have to realize these are where you build your belief in not only yourself, being able to do this, but the belief in the company, belief in the product. The events build belief, and getting your husband to come to one of those is going to launch you guys forward. And I got 2 more here. Show them the money. You can start handing them a little credit card, and that's just unfortunately going to be a big thing that's going to bring their belief. And the last one is, give up the I'll try it mentality and decide to commit to doing whatever it takes. And Peter Kelly quoted this at Australian Celebration. It says, trying is wanting credit for something you never intended on doing. So what is your intent? So with that, I'm going to hand it right back over to Elliot.
Guys, our time unfortunately here has run out on the CE Bro call, but thank you guys so much for joining in. I mean, we really we feed off each other's energy here, and it means the world that you hopped on. And if you are having are struggling with a supportive partner, we're 100% here for you. And just support each other and your partner and your significant other in the most dynamic way possible, because really, like I said earlier, it can really bring your relationship together and bring you to new heights. So this is it for the CE Bro call. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Have a fantastic week, and we will all we'll chat soon, eh?
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Bros out.
Bros out.
What's up?